But we've got some Big 12 bowl games to take a look at. We've talked a lot about BYU and Georgia Tech, USC and TCU. This is the Alamo Bowl, the Valero Alamo Bowl. It's on Tuesday, December 30th.
Going out of order, I see. Okay.
Is there an order? Is there a specific order?
Well, I mean, there's games on Saturday, this Saturday, but you want to skip ahead to Tuesday.
Well, I didn't know with the replay. I should have broke it down better with Taman. So we go Saturday.
Get to a live show for a replay, James.
Well, we've got a lot. We're checking a lot of boxes with this segment. Okay, just creating extra work for Taman. All right, we can go Saturday. Let's go Saturday.
The Pop-Tarts Bowl, Georgia Tech and BYU.
Georgia Tech and BYU.
This is an elite quarterback matchup. As we make our way through each of these matchups, it'll be obviously interesting for the context associated with it. Like in the Texas Bowl, LSU is going to have like nobody playing and nobody coaching, basically. But this game, Georgia Tech and BYU, is the opposite. It's a great game with a great quarterback matchup, and it's almost like Bear Bachmeier looking into the future to a degree. Haynes King and Bear Bachmeier. Bachmeier has that sprained left ankle that he's been dealing with, so we'll see how much he plays. And I mean, BYU is looking to get a 12th win this season. Meanwhile, Georgia Tech is going for a 10th win for the first time since 2015. And look, I can't wait to see what BYU looks like for their first time seeing them since, they really got clapped in the Big 12 championship. And Georgia Tech is going to have former Heisman Trophy winning quarterback Chris Winkie as their offensive coordinator because their OC, Buster Faulkner, went to Florida, was hired by John Summerall. So they're going to have a new OC, Chris Winkie, at Georgia Tech. The quarterback's coach take over as the OC.
Chris Winkie, who played in the national championship game at the age of like 31.
He won the Heisman, right?
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
He was north of 30, winning the Heisman.
Played for the Carolina Panthers.
L.J. Martin, the BYU running back, is this the last time we will see him in a BYU uniform? I think is a huge story, and Hans Olsen touched on it earlier during the show. I mean, he had 1,300 yards this season. He has eligibility left. So does he come back to BYU? Does he move on to the NFL? But I've watched Georgia Tech a couple of times this season. I saw their big upset win early in the year, which at the time it was a massive win over Clemson. Watching them against Colorado, I just think an angry BYU team, which is what we're going to get in this game. We saw how dangerous they are last year in the Alamo Bowl against Colorado. And Haynes King, him and Bear have a lot of parallels. Like Haynes is a dual threat guy, almost had 1,000 yards rushing, over 2,500 yards passing. They're also kind of built the same. Like they look identical just in terms of their skill set, the way they run and their throwing motion. But I really like BYU in this one.
Yeah, I do too. I don't know if we're going to pick these games against the spread, but yeah, I would.
Hypothetically, if we were,
because I went 2-2 last week, and you went 1-3.
Wait a minute, time out. I thought I had one game better.
No, because
did Oregon? Did James Madison and what happened?
James Madison covered.
You're kidding me. What?
James Madison covered. It was a 20.5-point spread. The final score.
It's not been good. So yes, Taman, we'd like to pick these games.
That's fine. I'm looking at your picks from last week on my phone, and Ari, I have you as 1-3. I have James not winning a game.
Ooh.
Okay.
Did I get that wrong?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Totally.
You did.
Had to. Yeah, okay. We both took Miami.
Okay. Yeah. That's right. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay.
We had Miami. All right. The other game on Saturday. Where is my schedule? This is a mess. Houston, LSU. This is a big game for Houston. Like proving that they belong on this stage. For LSU, is this the sleepwalking bowl for them, kind of like they had against Kansas State a few years ago with so many guys sitting out and coaching changes? Can Houston's physicality, which was really good in the Big 12, does that travel in a bowl game against an SEC team like this that's probably going to be better in the trenches? But Houston, LSU, this I just think could be a massive, massive win for Houston to get to double-digit wins for the first time in, almost a decade. Willie Fritz football, the discipline, the effort, the toughness. I think they'll be ready to go.
Yeah, Houston starting center Demetrius Hunter is no longer with the team. He left, so that'll be interesting to see how Houston manages without their starting center. LSU is projected to start something called Michael Van Buren at quarterback. And again, this goes back to like LSU has Frank Wilson coaching this team, so it's like the Lane Kiffin era is about to take over. And they have a bunch of guys out. I mean, Harold Perkins opted out. Josh Thompson, an offensive lineman, opted out. West Weeks, their linebacker, opted out. Aaron Anderson, wide receiver. Mansour Delane. So, I mean, their best players are out. With that being said, though, LSU always has a ton of talent. I think they've got a ton of skill position talent. I'm going to take LSU plus 3 points in this game. If we're going to officially pick it, I will take BYU minus 4.5, but I will take LSU plus 3 because even though there's so many guys that are going to be missing, for me, there's a lot of guys playing for pride, and there's a ton of talent on this roster for LSU. So I'll take LSU plus the 3 points.
All right, so we've got we both like BYU. Taman, write this down.
I am. I'm. Yes.
What's the line on Houston LSU?
3.
Houston's favorite.
3-point favorite.
Give me Houston. I like Houston.
Who's
the quarterback for LSU?
Too. Michael Van Buren.
Michael Van Buren. Never heard of him. All right, USC and TCU. This is the Alamo Bowl. This is the game that's Tuesday, December 30th. Josh Hoover's in the portal. Josh Hoover, he's not playing in this game, right?
Correct.
That's big. So TCU will start Ken Seals.
Yeah, you didn't see the big announcement?
Ken Seals. Texas
Where have
native.
you been, James?
Previous SEC starts. I couldn't remember his name off the top of my head, but I remember before the season
You
we
even
talked
sports,
about
bro?
Before the season we talked about the importance of having a quality backup in the Big 12. See Jeff Sims, Arizona State. Ken Seals was like preseason a top 3 backup quarterback in the Big 12. He finally gets his chance since he was the quarterback at Vanderbilt like 3 years ago for a really bad Vanderbilt team, but he was actually pretty good. What's the line on this one?
The Alamo Bowl line is USC is a 6.5-point favorite.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, without Hoover, I am excited to see Ken Seals because I'm curious what TCU will do at quarterback going into next year because it looks like Seals is the guy. And, we'll see if they want to bring in any competition or if how he plays in this game goes a long way in helping to figure out if he's going to be the guy. The game within the game here is USC's offense against TCU's defense, which struggled mightily towards the back end of the year. USC still has an explosive offense. I expect most of their guys to be playing. I like USC to cover 6.5 points in the Alamo Bowl.
6.5 is the line.
Yeah, too much missing for me on the TCU side.
I don't like it. So Ken Seals, he's listed as a senior, but he's been a senior for like 3 years. So he's only played in 3 games this season, which means this would be his 4th game. He could use this as a red shirt. So he would have eligibility next year in what would be his 6th year of competition.
Yeah.
Wild stuff.
Remember, postseason play doesn't count. It's only 3 games of the regular season, so he's good.
So he's good either way.
Yeah.
He'd be under that 4-game threshold, whether it counted or not. Man, USC's had a bunch of holdouts, but I'm with you. I just think that the Hoover, almost distraction. Like, I could see the TCU team really rallying behind Ken Seals. Eric McAllister, Jordan Dwyer is out for the bowl. Now, McAllister's going to play, but I still think USC is just going to be too tough. I'll take USC minus 6.5 as well. All right, next game up.
The Las Vegas Bowl. Utah and Nebraska. This one is on December 31st.
Nebraska 7-5. Utah's
Call that
10-2.
New Year's Eve. 2:30. It's the SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl. Utah is a 15.5-point favorite.
15.5. I still like Utah. Give me Utah, man. Kyle Whittingham's last game. He's going to coach in the bowl game. I think the team rallies behind him. Devin Dampier, Nebraska without Raiola. Nebraska at 7-5. They're kind of limping in. Yeah, I think Utah crushes Nebraska.
The last game of the Kyle Whittingham era.
That is a weird thing to say.
So that obviously adds a very important wrinkle. no Spencer Fano, no Caleb Lovu, no Logan Fano. So will the offense be as effective as it's been on the ground game without two bookend NFL players and along their offensive line? Nebraska's also without Dylan Raiola, who's entered the transfer portal. TJ Lateef will start at quarterback for Nebraska. They also have moved on. They fired their defensive coordinator, John Butler. He's out. And then Raiola's uncle was the offensive line coach. He's obviously gone as well. This is an interesting one, and it's hard for me to pick Utah minus 15.5 despite thinking they're going to win this game going away. I'm going to take Nebraska plus the points. I do think Utah wins, but it feels like that's too many points in a bowl game for two programs that are fairly close, it feels like. Although I will say this, Utah is top 10 in the SP Plus final rankings.
Right.
And, so, I mean, they have a top 10 offensive rating. Meanwhile, Nebraska's 45th at SP Plus. However, part of what made Utah top 10 in the SP Plus ranking is their two bookend tackles that are NFL players in Spencer Fano, who's probably a top 10 pick, and Caleb Lomu, who's arguably a first-round pick. So, again, I'll take Nebraska plus 15.5.
Yeah, I like Utah. That top 20 rushing defense, top 20 scoring defense. Opponents really struggle in the red zone. Who's starting at quarterback for Nebraska?
TJ Lateef.
TJ Lateef? La who? Yeah, I'll take Utah. Now this will be.
Don't even know who Dylan Raiola is. Stop it.
Patrick Mahomes 2.0 tore his ACL. I do think that this will be like a really good preview to see what Utah might look like next year at the line of scrimmage without those two big tackles on either side, to see if they do have guys that are ready, because Nebraska is really physical up front. Their strength might be their rushing defense. They've got big tackles on the defensive side of the ball, so I'm here for that matchup. All right, we've got Arizona State and Duke also on Wednesday, New Year's Eve. CBS, 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Central. The Sun Bowl in El Paso, Arizona State, 8-4. Duke, 8-5. Duke, the ACC champs, get to play in the Sun Bowl. What's the line on that one?
Duke is -3, which is really interesting. Obviously you look at opt-outs with Arizona State as potentially being a part of this. But I think both of these teams are highly motivated heading in. That's another one of those things you have to look for. Like where LSU, you're not sure that they're totally motivated. It's obvious that both Arizona State and Duke are highly motivated. I mean, ASU trying to get to 9 wins, monumental in another year of Kenny Dillingham considering all the injuries. And Duke is also trying to get to 9 wins after being left out of the CFP despite winning the ACC. So they're trying to show they're as good as they've looked. Give me Arizona State +3. I'm not sure. This game's a coin flip to me in terms of injuries, but they're both motivated. I think they're both talented teams that are well coached. I'll take the points if you're giving them to me.
I want Arizona State as well, Taman. This is the Jeff Sims Bowl. Sims is playing, right? Sims is good?
Yeah.
Jeff Sims.
Where's he going?
Jeff Sims Bowl.
Where's he going?
All right, we've got 3 more. We'll pick them after we talk with Justin Williams, the senior writer for The Athletic. He joins us coming up next here on Big 12 Today on Big 12 Radio, brought to you, the Full-Time Fan, by Modelo, also streaming on your screen on the Big 12 Fast channel, Big 12 Studios. Hey, Cincinnati's going to start Brady Lichtenberg at quarterback in their bowl game, who has not seen the field this season, or at least attempted a pass. Last year in 2024, he's a senior, by the way. This is pretty cool. Pretty cool deal for him. He's been the backup forever. He was the backup last year, played in 3 games, was like 3 for 4, 25 yards against Houston. He was the backup in 2023, played in 7 games, but he's expected to be the starter for Cincinnati in their bowl game against Navy. We've got 3 more games to pick. What is the line on that one?
Yeah, Brady Lichtenberg starting, but also Samaj Jones expected to get some run in this game. This is a 7-point line favoring Navy, and I think this is an easy call, Navy -7. I mean, without Sorsby, some of the guys missing, and then on top of that, like Navy, they're not an opt-out team.
Right.
And this was a very good football team this year. They're also going for a program record 11th win with Blake Horvath as their quarterback, leading rusher, leading passer, plus Eli Heidenreich, team best 877. Did K-State lose to Navy? No, they lost to the the worst
It
of
was
the
Army.
Army.
Thank
of course,
you very
yeah.
much.
No, I
Did K-State lose to Navy in a bowl game 5 years? Yes, they also
Oh,
did
they got
that.
smoked in that bowl.
Service academies are a problem.
Yeah, and especially for Cincinnati. Give me Navy -7. Salute.
Horvath, Navy, it's their Super Bowl. They're 10-2. They're pretty good. Liberty Bowl, I like Navy as well. All right. Also on Friday, Arizona and SMU. Arizona's ranked 17th in the last college football playoff rankings. This is at Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego. SMU's 8-4. Arizona's 9-3. What's the line on that one?
Arizona's a 3-point favorite in this one. And, I mean, this is another one of these games where, both teams are pretty loaded up in terms of guys that have not opted out. This is a great quarterback matchup with Noah Fafita and Kevin Jennings. The biggest thing here is, so Casey Woods is actually expected to coach SMU during this bowl game. Woods is the OC for SMU that's leaving to take over as the head coach at Missouri State following this bowl. Alonzo Carter, the running backs coach for Arizona, is also expected to be gone for Arizona as he's taken over at Sac State. I like Arizona to cover 3 points in this one. I like Arizona's defense against SMU's offense more so than SMU's defense. SMU's pass defense is atrocious. Remember that Baylor game? It has not gotten much better since then. Give me Arizona to cover 3 points.
Yeah, I like Arizona as well. I mean, SMU has losses to Wake Forest. Remember, TCU beat them 35-24. Baylor beat them earlier in the non-conference, as you noted. They also just lost at Cal. Like, their best win was Miami, and frankly, they shouldn't have won that game. They benefited from a late-game call that extended a drive and got it into overtime. This is a team that should have at least one more loss. I like Arizona as well. And just something about, like, Arizona's rise and Brent Brennan and them being really hyped for this game and Fafita and everything to look forward to. If they do get this dub, they'll have 10 wins on the season in year 2. All right, the big one, Oregon and Texas Tech.
Oh, the Orange Bowl. Oregon is a 1.5 point favorite. Give me Texas Tech plus 1.5. Is there any analysis needed for this? Are you kidding me?
No.
Oregon has not played a defense as good as Texas Tech's, and they played Indiana's defense. Texas Tech, they're going to see, is not going to allow them to do the things they've done that gave them a ton of success on offense. I think that front four is going to get after Dante Moore. He's going to make him very uncomfortable. He's going to make him look very pedestrian. Oregon has loaded up and feasted up offensively on bad defenses, and this is not one of them.
Totally agree. I like Texas Tech as well. My X factor, and I think everybody we had on today, I kept asking about the X factor because I was waiting to hear Texas Tech wide receiver Caleb Douglas, who has been really up and down this year. Like, Texas Tech leads the nation in explosive plays. A lot of those are to him. At West Virginia, he had 127 yards, 2 touchdowns on 5 grabs. But then in the Big 12 championship game, it's ground and pound, lean on your defense. He only caught 1 pass. His game log for this season, he has 2 100-yard games, and then he comes back down to earth and has 1 or 2 grabs. And against BYU, the 2 probably toughest games on Texas Tech's schedule in terms of opposing defenses, he had a total of just 3 catches. I think he's going to have a big game for Texas Tech to do what they need to do offensively to get those explosives and win the game.
Yeah, and look, I mean, how Texas Tech's offensive front handles that defensive front of Oregon is going to go a long way in this. And I'm with you. I think, it's funny because this Oregon offense is known for being an explosive offense, but so is Texas Tech's. It's a very underrated explosive offense. It's not like, it's only defense for Texas Tech. And I think that's one of the things that people are missing. Like, their defense is so dominant. They're historically great. And they also have a really good offense that, I mean, the running game, you got to account for a lot of different pieces. It's Jacoby Williams, and I think we'll see some different wrinkles. The biggest thing is, I think the first, the cliche of football is the fast start. Got to get off to a fast start. Everybody needs to get a fast start. But with Oregon playing last week and having some of that momentum, they just played, they worked the kinks out a little bit, whereas Texas Tech's had that layoff. It feels like you get off to a fast start here and things will, as opposed to if you don't, it's like, oh no, they already played. This thing could go south.
Definitely. And it would be impossible, like the human being aspect of this thing. Texas Tech is going to have some pregame jitters.
Yeah.
How do they handle that the first 5-6 minutes into the football game? All right, it is the final whistle. He's Ari, I'm James. We have a very special guest in studio here on Big 12 today, on Big 12 Radio and on Big 12 Studios. It is my dad, in town for the holidays.